darlings. So I got a message from Tumblr user Goskus who asks about sort of how I plan for parties, any tips I have for those of you out there that might be going to throw one themselves, and sort of how I prepare myself before a party. So let's go into all of these things right away. So I think the most important thing, no matter if it's a dinner for two or whether it's several thousand people you're planning for, I think the most important thing in any case is just to be prepared for anything, and particularly with these sort of larger events, and if you're relying on a caterer or some sort of other outside help, you want to definitely make sure you have all the backups prepared ahead of time, because things do happen, darling, and you do not want to find yourself stressed out or without something because of someone else's issue. So always make sure you have something prepared just in case. And I think that's a good plan of action for most anything in life, but particularly with parties, because people have expectations, of course, for what they're going to be getting. Now, as far as sort of if there's any food or drink involved, which of course most parties have, I always err on the side of extra, because people always eat and drink more than you'd expect them to. Even if you've had a party every week for months, for years, it doesn't matter. It's almost inevitable that people will always consume more than you expect. Now, on rare occasions, of course, this isn't the case, and it sort of goes the other way, but people enjoy, if they had something delicious to eat, having it to take home with them. And who doesn't like an extra bottle of wine as a gift? I can't tell you anyone who I've ever seen turn it down. So always err on the side of extra. Now, along with that, of course, always have extra money on hand, because you never know what's going to happen. A caterer always finds a way to sort of have an extra hour they need of preparation or service time or what have you. Things are delayed. There's always something, darling, and it's better just to make sure that you've got something on hand just in case. Always, if there's entertainment of any sort, make sure you sort of have something just in case, because things, they just always happen, darling. It's just how the world works. And then as far as just sort of what I personally do to get ready, I always err on sort of having things done way in advance, and I do this with all aspects of party planning, and I think planning ahead of time is absolutely key, because not only does it sort of make sure that you're taking a lot of the stress off of yourself, but you're guaranteeing a lot of sort of the factors that could go wrong are more likely not to. So I always make sure that my tailor is involved at least a month out, and that he's able to sort of have everything finished, and he can come in for alterations a couple of weeks ahead of time, so that I have my outfit ready in my closet at least a week in advance of when the event is going to be, because I don't want to take any chances. What if something happens and I need to have an alteration done? What if, I don't know, something could always happen, and I'd rather not have to worry about anything else. So I always make sure I sort of have a bottle or two on hand, and I sort of make sure, again, that I do everything so far in advance in case anything comes up. And then, I do sort of like to, before everything starts, I like to have sort of a moment to myself. So I make sure that I can get myself mentally prepared, because of course being a host can be incredibly stressful, even if it's sort of a small group or people you know and like. It doesn't matter. There's always some sort of stress, because you're sort of performing in your role as a host. And so I like to sort of have an hour or so of just quiet meditation, and maybe some drinks to sort of make sure that I'm in the best possible mood, because I think people really can tell if sort of your mood is not Now, if it's sort of atypical, they're going to notice, darlings, and you want to have it be sort of a pleasant atmosphere. So it's up to you, since it's your responsibility as host, to make sure that everyone feels like they're being accommodated. And that's really the most important thing to any party. So I hope any of this has been helpful. If you want anything specific, or if there's sort of a certain type of party you're trying to prepare for, then by all means, darling, send me another ask and I can give you more specifics. But until then, ta ta.